professor on computer architecture at the Technical University of Catalonia, UPC, and also I am the director of the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, the Centro Nacional de Supercomputación. We have the supercomputers who are the fastest computer in the world. They have very big computational power. They have a big storage memory. So we can deal with huge big data. And then using the techniques coming from the artificial intelligence, if you put all together, you have a very good cocktail to solve problems coming for the society as the climate change, personalized medicine, new material. I always define supercomputers as an instrument, so an instrument that can be used for many fields. And one of them obviously has been with the COVID. You need to imagine that there are some of the vaccines that need to deal with the huge quantity of the drugs of the data. And the supercomputer are one of the main instruments together with the labs of the bioinformatics. And a few years ago, when you were buying a computer, you were married with the software and the hardware. The hardware was private, proprietary, and also the software. It was almost impossible to share even application from one computer to the other. With the Linux, democratize the software development. Okay, so now it's quite easy to share the software. Okay, you can develop a program, and this program can be executed in any other supercomputing platform. The problem remains with the hardware. We need to put together the software and the hardware, but the hardware is proprietary. So this is the only people that can do that are the proprietary of the hardware. Open means that is very good for collaborate, that is very easy to share hardware and software, and that will be a new war to create new processor, new software, collaborating. In Europe, we don't produce hardware, and we need to produce this hardware because you don't have the instrument, the actor that process the data. You cannot do many things. You cannot apply your ethical rules to the design of processor, computer. It's not to fire anybody. It's just to maintain our rights to do whatever we would like to do. Is to have the technology you need to put your ideas implemented in real things. I think the ethical problem comes from the social network, and this is another point. We are not dealing with any project in bioinformatics has to pass two huge exams. The first one is technical, and there is a huge competition. The second one is ethical. There are committees of ethical that evaluate any detail about how this data will be used. Europe is promoting the data protection. I think it's a very good idea. It's pioneering the world. Some countries are trying to use these rules in order to be applied. The question is that we don't have enough force now to convince or to obligate to the owners of the GAFA, the social network, to do that. Okay, and I think we need to advance in this direction.